What people pleasers get wrong about boundaries. Boundaries have nothing to do with saying no. You've read the books, you know you should say no, you know your boundaries keep on getting crossed. However, you still can't do it. And you don't even fully understand why. And I was exactly there. Going from people-pleasing mode to actually having boundaries is one hell of a ride. But it is the most important thing that you actually will do in life if you want to live a happy life for yourself. So I've been a people pleaser for most of my life, and I had such a hard time figuring this out. I literally read 15 books on boundaries. 15, and yet there was something still missing. It felt like I was given home decor when I don't even have a house to put it in. Or the same as being handed a map, but I have no idea where I am at on that map. However, finally, I came across one concept and it changed everything. This one concept finally made my boundaries intact. And that's what this video is all about today. So after reading all of those books, I kind of accidentally stumbled upon Teal Swan's concept that completely changed how I see boundaries. And it wasn't the popular one that boundaries being doors and not walls, though that did help a little. It was actually this: a boundary is a defined sense of self. Let me say that again. A boundary is a defined sense of self. So what that means that boundaries are not just there to protect you from other people or bad situations or bad treatment. It's actually something and everything at the same time that makes you, you. And basically is as simple as my favorite color is stone gray. That defines you. That is already your boundary. Now, this is where we actually get practical, and this is where it gets very important, especially if you are currently a people pleaser or on the edge of someone who's actually grasping boundaries. So take this in. If my favorite color is stone gray and someone says, "That is so boring, everyone loves stone gray," mine actually is bright red. That in itself is a violation. That's shame being pushed onto your preference, your choice, the thing that defines you. And probably now you think, holy shit, it's that simple. And yes, it is. So now look at it this way. If that kind of conversation is happening in a connection which really matters to you. So for example, in childhood, if it's a caregiver, if it's a mom, dad, sister, someone who is close to you, who you want to have close to you, your nervous system makes a split-second calculation. If I keep choosing stone gray, I'm going to lose them. If I abandon my preference of stone gray and agree with them, I can keep the connection. And so you abandon yourself just a little, just this once. But guess what? It happens in other conversations too. This time, let's say it's a dress. You loved wearing dresses as a little girl, and someone said to you, "You're so girly, can't you wear anything else? You look weak. You can't even play in the sand with it. You can only sit all pretty." So you don't have the capacity at that age to think it through. You just make it mean something immediately. Dress equals pain, disconnection. It's bad. Pants equals approval, safety, connection. Pants are good. And now you're an adult who says, "I hate wearing dresses," and you don't even know why. It was never your conscious choice. Then another one. You said you like chocolate ice cream. Someone said strawberry is better. You felt bad and you abandoned that small piece of yourself again. And every single time you abandon yourself in those small choices, small decisions, small definitions of yourself, you chip away at your sense of self, little by little. And it also comes to self-respect, self-honoring, self-love. All of that comes to that sense of self. And at some point, you don't even know who you really are, what you like, or what you want, because you weren't allowed to think for yourself, to choose for yourself up until that point. And then we go fast forward, and at some point someone crosses a huge boundary. Real disrespect, real harm, and you can't defend yourself. Not because you're weak, but because you already lost the trust in yourself every time you abandoned yourself in those small moments. So let me ask you this. How could you stand up for yourself then if you've been trained your whole life that your preferences, your choices, your opinions don't get to exist without consequences? It only makes sense. You never learned that you could be different and still be safe, still have that connection. So you kept the pattern up until now. And of course you did. That was the only way how you knew that you could get those positive things out of life experience, but it's not working for you anymore. So here's the problem, the way most people try to fix it. We go backwards. We notice we feel bad after agreeing with someone where we shouldn't have agreed with them, or we agreed to do something that we didn't want, and we think to ourselves, next time I will say no. And so we look for scripts and strategies to communicate better next time, to be prepared. And those things can help, but only later on, because scripts are basically furniture for your house. If you don't have the house, you don't need the furniture, you don't have where to put it. So if you don't know who you are, you don't have that defined sense of self, meaning there's basically no house to put your furniture in. But the good news is that defining yourself is not as hard as you might think. However, very important to not dismiss this as too small, because that thought, I already know myself, this is too basic, is exactly what keeps you stuck. So here's what I want you to do. Today and every day, for the next upcoming week, a month is even better, sit down for 5, 10, 20 minutes and fill these two lists. What I like and what I don't like. That's it. This is the foundation. Honor every answer, because nothing of this is too small. So to show you right now on a deep level exactly what we're building forward, here's the metaphor that changed my life. Imagine there's a house that belongs to you. You know it exists, but you don't know where it is. You don't know what's inside. You don't know if it's functional, if anyone lives there right now, if it's fallen completely apart, or if it's holding up. But somehow you are expected to take care of it. So let me ask you this. How do you take care of a house that you can't even find? You can't. How do you know what it needs if you have no idea what's there and what's missing? You can't. So this is exactly what it's like to set boundaries without having a sense of self. You're trying to protect something you haven't even located yet. So right now, through the likes and dislikes exercise, through starting to define yourself, we are finding the house that belongs to you. And once you find it, everything starts to become visible, clear, and you have a foundation to understand what you're working with. You actually start to see what's exactly on your property. And if you've never seen that before, some of it might shock you. Maybe your friends and family have been throwing their garbage onto your property there for years because you haven't been around to stop it. So they figured you wouldn't notice. Maybe people were coming into your house and actually taking the stuff that they want because there was never a fence and a gate. Maybe the place has been trashed and you're seeing it just now. But now it's your responsibility to take care of it and start cleaning it up. You move what doesn't belong, what you don't want there anymore, what makes you feel miserable. You tell people to leave who have no business being there. You look at the damage, probably for a second say, fuck, this really sucks. And then you take responsibility and decide what needs fixing first. And prioritization here is very important. Is it the fence, the gate, the roof maybe the foundation itself? These are all internal questions. What am I okay with? What do I actually want here in my home? What has to leave immediately? And as you do this, you also start to see what's absolutely beautiful about your house, what you love about it, what you want to build additionally there. Maybe you always made sure to take care of yourself financially. So those are the walls of your house. They're absolutely perfect and intact. However, maybe there has been someone who has been coming over and over to your place and staying there too long, draining the space, bringing that pain and never doing anything about it to help themselves. And now you have to decide whether you have that honest conversation with them and they start making changes how they are in your house, or you stop letting them in altogether. So you really start honoring your space. You stop handing out keys just to the first person you felt like, oh, we really connected with. You stop letting people come and go as they please. Take what they want, leave what they don't want at your place. And so you realize your home is your boundaries. No one gets to come into your house and redecorate it because they like it better that way. No one gets to come into your house, drop their garbage in your space because they don't want to deal with it. No one gets to decide that, oh, you don't use this thing at your place, so I'm going to take it just because I need it more. No one gets to do that. They are welcome only if they're willing to respect you and appreciate you, your house, as you built it and as you take care of it now. And really hear me out now. You don't need a permission to have a boundary. If something feels wrong to you, that is enough. That's literally all the reason you need. And when someone makes you feel guilty about having that boundary, and some of them will, see it for what it is. Guilt is the number one signal that someone is trying to get something from you, something from your property that you haven't agreed to give. And the people who drop away when you start doing this, they were never there for you. They were there for access, for free access. And the ones who stay, you'll find that usually the ones who quietly add to your property, not taking away from it. And one last thing very worth mentioning. Look at how other people are taking care of their own houses. Someone who doesn't respect their own space, someone who has no sense of their own boundaries, in most cases, they won't respect yours either. And that makes it easier for you to let them go. So now that you know how your house looks like, the next natural question is, what happens when you start honoring it and people don't like it? Because here's what no one warns you about. When you find your sense of self, you start holding it. People will want the old free access back. Free access meaning you having no boundaries, no defined sense of self, no gate on your property. And some of the people will throw tantrums to get everything you have delivered for them up until now. And that's exactly what I covered in my last video, so you can check it out here. What really happens when you increase your self-worth, why people react the way that they do, and how to hold your ground when people are pushing back on you. Because knowing what the house is, that's the foundation. Knowing how to hold it when everyone around you is demanding the old access back, now that's next level.